if you can't feel your core, polish up the technique with everything that's going on here to ensure that you get the core engagement. Once you get that core engagement and you master the mechanics here, then at that point you can slowly begin to graduate to the things that we're going to be covering later on down the line. Let's do one more execution of this technique, Kathy, so they can get a better vision of things that need to happen. So go ahead and just hang out there for a minute. So again, checklist. Elbows are underneath the shoulder. Also another thing, making sure that the cervical is neutral. We'll go into that as well, Kathy. We'll go into that for a second. But main thing is right now, elbows are directly underneath the shoulders, okay? From there, we're going to start with the thoracic extension, the best that we can. So you'll kind of start to push the breastbone down to the floor at the same time. So you should kind of begin to notice that that begins to shift downward towards the floor. After she kind of locks that in place to some degree, minus the scapular winging or the bunching of the shoulder here, what she's going to begin to do is slowly begin to lift her hips up off the ground. Okay, go into an anterior pelvic tilt. That's going to be a common tendency that you'll find with most people. She's going to go into her posterior pelvic tilt and hold her thoracic extension. Another thing that people will commonly do when they do a posterior pelvic tilt, they'll start extending their cervical spine. Do not find yourself there. The main thing that we want to look at with the neck is just that it stays neutral. Go ahead and protract the neck down to the floor a little bit, Kathy. Right there's good. You don't want to bring it too high and too low. Lift your, look over here with your eyes, Kathy. A little bit more, right there. Let's look a little bit more this way. Right there's good. Pull the abdominals in, and that's going to be another big part here, that we retract the abdominals in, just like what I was talking about before with the standing neutral position. The abdominals need to retract from this position. Okay, go ahead and take a break. Let's actually show them that, Kathy. Could you just roll up your shirt a little bit so we can show them that? So go ahead and lift the hips up again for me, Kathy. So oftentimes when people do a plank, go ahead and let your belly come out, Kathy. You don't want to get there. What you want to do is retract the abdominal wall. Pull, 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 pull. Not tighten it, just retract it. At the very end of the range of motion, what you can do is then tighten it just a little bit, just a subtle amount, and pull it in. And when you get to that position, that's when you're going to feel massive amounts of fatigue. You guys might already begin to notice the shaking. That's not wind going on. That's her muscles having to coordinate that new position. And take a break. Keep in mind, we have to go back to the basics all the time.